Okay.
So we'll just start the session, Balakrishnan sir.
Yes, ma'am. So how many people are going to be on this connected?
How many people?
Please, just one.
So there should be around 100 of them, sir.
Okay, they're going to be connected online, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Balkrishnan, good afternoon, sir. Mr.
Very good
Balkrishnan, sir,
afternoon.
is a financial planner profession specializing in retirement planning, tax planning. He's completed his graduation in commerce and post-graduation in financial management. Sir has professional certifications in mutual funds, risk management, retirement planning, and portfolio management. Sir is a certified mutual fund advisor since 2002 with over 2 decades of experience in the field of finance, particular focus on wealth management. Sir is passionate about his work with Sundaram Finance Limited, one of India's largest and most respected non-banking finance companies. Being an integral part and the founding member of the investment services team for over a decade and a half now, he has been serving the clients of Sundaram and the TS Group in their financial planning requirements and in achieving their chosen investment goals. He is a passionate educator, aspiring to share his knowledge with the seekers. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Okay, your name? May I have your name?
Mayank, sir.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's begin. I'll start presenting. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this session. So I hope you can see my screen. Are you able to? Just make some noise and say you can. Is the screen visible? Hello? Okay. Let's check. Is this happening? Is this? Shall I stop share?
Yeah, stop sharing.
Okay. Window is where we have the PPT. Yeah. It's a PDF. Okay, everybody, very good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So did you see the slide changing? You did. Okay.
Yeah, it is. We can see the slide changing.
Okay. So welcome, and I'm really glad to meet you all through this online D-Meet. And thanks to the management of DG Vaishnav, the principal and the staff, and special thanks to Renu Kumari ma'am for having me here. And that was a lovely introduction. So taking forward from there, today we are going to discuss a few points about investments per se, and what they mean, and how we look at investments, what are the aspects of it. This is just going to be a primer. This is just going to be a basics, and because this is a very vast field, very deep. But I'm sure anybody who's been part of this session today would be introduced to the world of investing in a certain way, which can guide them through all their life. So I would definitely encourage all those on this call to make some notes and do participate. Show some excitement. May not always be easy after lunch, but I'll try to make it as exciting as possible. Okay, so what is money? Money is a legal tender. Okay, it is a medium of exchange. You use money to buy goods and services. Okay, and it's a store of value. So the amount of money determines how much value it represents. So that's money for all of us. And many people have asked me why some people are poor, why some are rich and all that. So it all boils down to beliefs. In all of us, right from the time we were born and throughout our life, we have these programs running in. And so anybody who has got a good program in their mind about money, good belief system, they attract wealth, they attract money, they're able to keep the money they attract, they're able to grow it. And if there are negative beliefs around money, that hampers people from attracting the right kind of money and also investing it right and growing it. So some of those people end up spending the money or wasting it. Okay. So the focus for all of us, the prayer for all of us is to respect money as an important resource, along with our health, our family, our relationships, and the time we have on this life. Okay. So money is one of the 4 important resources which can help us live a fulfilling life. Okay. It's good. Right. So that's the belief with which we look forward to in life. What is important is to understand that money earned through a good means and applied for good purposes is always fantastic. It's very good. Money is good. It can never be evil. So that's a basic belief which I wanted to touch upon. And if social conditioning, if maybe some movies, have given us a thought process that, rich people are not so good people, then that's actually not the right way to look at money or rich people. In fact, most of the rich people contribute tremendously to the society. Okay, right from educational institutions to corporates to job generation to employment, hospitals, services happens because of large philanthropists, large entrepreneurs who take massive risks to run businesses, and in the process they generate employment for a lot of people. Okay, so more money means more good. So it all boils down to only one question: are you a good person? If you are a good person, you will amplify your good qualities when you have more money with you, more resources with you. So your good qualities will only amplify further and it will reach out to more people. Right? So I hope that makes sense. Right. So let's look at what are the ways in which people, I've taken this from Robert Kiyosaki's book, The Cash Flow Quadrant. And Mr. Robert Kiyosaki also speaks about it in almost all of his books, be it The Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and so on and so forth. Okay. So employee, so it could be a person whose time is used to generate their income. So you can imagine a tailor, a doctor, an accountant, a chartered accountant who is self-employed. Okay. And their time is equal to their money, right? Big business is where somebody has employed a minimum of 500 people and above who are working for them. So they have got a big business to run. They have given employment to a lot of people, and they've got a system which takes care of the wealth generation. Okay, so a big business is something with a large number of people, the system which is in place. So the big business owner can put in the system, making the investments, and then the business takes care of itself largely with good management from the business owners and the professionals involved in the business. The fourth category is the person also gives their time to earn their money. A big business owner puts in a system, employs people to run a big business, large business house, and therefore they generate their money through the system. An investor, for the investor, the money invested earns more money, it grows, and it earns more money. Okay. What are the money traps which people get into? There are two major traps, very, very common: expenses and loans. Both of them maybe, expenses are not fully avoidable, but there is a very important distinction in knowing what are necessary expenses and what are not. Okay, so there is this normal thing, the distinction which somebody has to make between needs and wants. Okay, a want is something which I would like to have, but it's okay if I don't have it, right? I can still live, and I wouldn't be stopped from my living process, my survival process, and my growth process because of not having some of those expenses or not having those things. Whereas needs are things which are necessities for life. Could be like electricity, could be water, food. Okay, anything which is needed for all of us to spend on a regular basis. It could be on a daily, weekly, or a monthly basis, or an annual basis. So some of those expenses are needs. So the point is to prioritize needs over wants. Give needs the priority and let go of wants, and take them only when expenses go overboard. When people spend more than what they earn, then they are forced to borrow money in order to meet those expenses. This is a dangerous situation for a lot of people. We as financial planners look at it from a very deep scientific way and from a cultural or emotional way, so that people are saved from unwanted loans and burdens of loans. Okay, so that's something which we have to watch out for. And you would have come across many situations where people have lost their entire life savings because they borrowed money at high costs. They were not able to repay on time, and that has caused tremendous amount of agony for the family. Extremely careful about. Somebody shouldn't borrow at all is the first request. If at all they have to borrow, then they can probably look at only 2 or 3 types of loans, maybe a home loan. Loans can be taken only after they have got enough savings in place. So that's the basis on which I'm mentioning this. So remember this image very well. So you see on the left side, there's a bucket which is filling up nicely. On the right side, there is a bucket which is filling up, but also there are holes in the bucket from where the water is also going out. So think of this as money coming in, wealth coming in, okay, money coming in and filling up, okay, and money coming in, but expenses and loans are taking away the money. So there is this bucket probably will never get filled up. Okay, so okay, moving on. I would like to give a story here. What do you see on the screen? You see a frog. Okay, this frog was put in a pan of hot water, and what happened was immediately jumped out and escaped. Okay, then people thought, okay, what do we do now? So then what they did was they put the frog in a pan of cold water, and the frog was okay. It was finding it okay, and it continued to swim in the pan, okay, in the jar, and after some time they lit some fire under it, but the frog was not aware of it. It continued to swim around happily, enjoying the swim, enjoying the water. The water started to become slightly warm, and the frog enjoyed it a lot. It was having fun because warm water was even better than cold water. Okay, it was very cozy, very soothing, very nice. And after some time, the water started to become a little warmer and a little hot. At that stage, the frog felt a little uncomfortable, but by now the frog had actually got used to the environment, and it had become very comfortable being inside that pan. Okay, swimming around in that water without any disturbances or without anybody else coming in and all that. So it liked its own world. It was doing that. And in due course of time, the water became hot and hot and hot. And before the frog could realize, the water was boiling, and in that boiling water, the frog boiled. Okay, so this is a sad story, but this is also a caution for people who may be getting comfortable with a lot. So in my profession, I come across a lot of people who come to me for financial advice, who come to me for their personal finance planning and for their future goals. But in many cases, and in the process, they end up losing their all their earnings to all the borrowings, all the spends they have made through the credit cards. So it can be a trap. So any loan which is given to you at a low rate or at free rate, you have to be extremely conscious of it and avoid it. So this is an advice which, and I would like to give that to all the young minds here who are ready to earn. But keep this in mind, whenever you start earning, you will become eligible for some freebies like free credit cards and some passion in mind, and be very conscious of your wealth, your money. Make sure that your money is available for your needs, for your future goals, and you don't let it go away, and don't get boiled in that comfort zone. Okay. Right. So how does the income flow? So for a lot of people, it is the income flows through, say, salary. Okay. Salary or income or professional receipts, or rent. It could be a combination of all of that. Salary minus expenses should give them savings. However, in most cases, expenses tend to become higher than the income. So if salary is 100 rupees, expenses tend to be 105 or 110. And that extra 5 rupees and 10 rupees of the expense is made by borrowing, by borrowing on credit card or taking. Equation has to be challenged. And this is a personal finance equation, which I would strongly recommend to everybody who has got some money. So even if you are students and you've got some money with you, maybe your pocket money, your salary is your pocket money, for example, then use the remaining, make some investments for your future goals, like your marriage, and maybe, for your favorite trip you want to go. And for people who are starting to earn, pace. So the most important thing here is what you learn from this slide is that you invest first before you spend. To put it another way, I'll say it as investment is your first expenditure. Okay. So say it to yourself, my investment will be my first expenditure. My investment is my first expenditure. I will invest first before I spend. I will invest first before I spend. Okay. And moving on, this is about health insurance. People tend to take their health for granted, as you can see from a lot of things happening around us. People who go on a two-wheeler without a helmet, be it a single rider or a rider with a pillion. Sometimes the rider alone wears a helmet. Pillion doesn't wear, the person sitting behind the rider doesn't wear a helmet. All lead to a lot of challenges for people. And there are a lot of illnesses. COVID taught us some harsh lessons. People who didn't have health cover suffered a lot in terms of, not only in terms of health, also in terms of finance. Okay, they didn't have the money. Many could not afford their treatment costs. So health insurance has to be a priority. Make sure that you and your family have adequate health cover. And life cover is for those people who have got an income in their life. Anybody who is earning an income in any form, could be from salary, it could be from business, whatever. They have to have adequate life cover so that if and when something were to happen to the earning member's life, the family doesn't suffer. The family is not left without any money, or family is not left to pay off loans taken by the primary earning member. So a life insurance cover comes to protect the family from financial troubles. Okay. So a pure term life cover is what we would recommend to everybody. That is the cheapest form of life insurance, and that can give a large amount of cover based on the individual's annual income requirement. Okay. So where to focus? Where should people be focusing? The focus should be on savings rather than on spending. And the other aspect is on equities versus loans. Okay, I'll explain what equities mean. Equity means ownership. Okay, anything owns a house, they have 100% equity in that house. If somebody has purchased a house by taking a loan, then to the extent of the down payment, they own it. So let's say the house cost 1 crore rupees and somebody had paid a down payment of 20 lakhs rupees. So 20 lakh is their equity in the house. Okay. More the equity, greater is your asset value, greater is your ability to the EMI, equated monthly installments on loans. They take away a big chunk of your money as interest cost. Okay. So the idea is to minimize your loans and increase your equities. Right? Okay. So I read a lot. I love books. I've learned a lot from books and from the people I meet. Okay. So here is something which I've seen it in real life and I've seen it in all the financial books. Any book on investing will actually talk about this. Small choices done regularly on a consistent basis over a period of time. If you give yourself time with those choices, can make a radical difference in your life. So it can be daily walking or waking up at the same time every day, going same time every day. Okay, it could be eating certain amount of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. So these are choices. Okay, these choices lead to radical difference for people's health. Okay, in their life over long periods of time. Okay, same holds true with money also. So you make small choices of investing on a regular basis. Okay, and when you do that with consistency, so what people call as SIPs or recurring deposits, that with consistency and with time, it can lead to a huge corpus, massive amount of money, wealth created when you do these small choices on a regular basis. In fact, investing in most cases, do pick it up, do read. I'm sure there are a lot of anecdotes and you will love it. Okay, so the message here is very clear. Nobody ever wrote down a plan to be broke, fat, lazy, or stupid. Okay, so nobody said that, no, I want to be broke, I want to be a pauper. Or nobody said, I want to be very... But these things happen to people because they don't have a plan. Right? So because you will have a plan for your life, you will definitely be better than a broke, fat, lazy, or stupid person. You will be a rich, lean, healthy person. You will also be a very sharp and a swift person. Okay, that's my prayer for. Okay, what is your relationship with your money? Okay, I started off with money beliefs. Okay, so take a look at this chart and this image, and you will see that there is a sun. Okay, there's a moon, some far away. Okay, and there are a lot of stars of various shapes and sizes. Right now, think of it: this is your primary source of income. Okay, the greatest source of energy for Earth is the sun. Solar energy is the greatest source of energy. And this is what solar energy is, what sustains life on Earth. Okay, so your primary source of income is your solar energy, is your sun. And the moon is something which derives its light from the sun. Okay, it does not have its own energy. It does not have its own light of its own. Okay, so moon could be something which derives out of what your primary income is. It could be your secondary income. And there are plenty of stars. Okay, countless stars. Okay, and look at these stars as expenses. Okay, so there is one sun, one moon, and plenty of stars. So you have to make sure that you prioritize your savings and investments first before all the stars can fade you out. Okay, in the night, all the stars come in and your sun is no longer available. So night can be treated as the time when somebody has retired. Okay, maybe at your stage of life, maybe you're in your early 20s, and I'm talking about, or maybe in your late teens, 17, 18 years of age, and I'm talking about retirement. But remember something, that everybody who gets into any form of income earning has to retire. Okay? When they retire, all they will have is stars, lots of expenses, because it's night time. Okay? The sun is no longer there, right? So only expenses to meet. So keep this analogy in mind and think about all those people, the old, frail. Their expenses are good. They are helpful. They help us sustain. They help us live a good life. But all unnecessary expenses and loans can ruin somebody's life. Okay? This is another book which I'll strongly recommend. The Richest Man in Babylon. This is full of story and the lessons are still relevant. So do catch hold of this book. So I've recommended 2 books already. The Compound Effect and The Richest Man in Babylon. Right? Okay. Compound interest. This is something which many people have heard, but many people don't understand. The compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, as per Albert Einstein. And he clearly says that the one who understands it earns it. The one who does not understand pays it. So the clear example is the one who invests money earns compound interest. The one who borrows money pays compound interest. Okay. Time has a very crucial role to play in your investment success. Okay, and here is an illustration of that. All the while I was talking about you can make a large sum of real estate. Many of my friends who are financial planners abroad, they tell me that, dear Balakrishnan, we understand that Indians are good savers of money, but poor investors of money. I understood what they were saying, but still I asked them, why do you say that? So then they told me that Indians have invested more than 50% of their household savings in real estate alone. So it is a large chunk of money which is blocked in something like a real estate. And real estate can sometimes become illiquid. And if it is not paying you any income, then it does not serve somebody's purpose for having a regular flow of income. So real estate is important in its own place, but we need to have a combination of assets to make a good investment portfolio. Okay, so this is just a pointer. I won't go deeper into that. And for any of us asking about comparison between different asset classes, I thought this slide might be of help. What was the price of gold in 1981 and what was it in 2021 when COVID second wave hit? Okay, which was about 3 years ago. Just doing a comparison. Gold was 1,800 in 1981. It is now, it is in 2021, it has become 48,000. And what is the current price of gold? I leave that to you. You know it. You have to check it. Silver was 2,700 rupees in 81. And now 1 kg silver is quoting 67,600. And when I say now, it is as of 2021 only. Okay. Current price of silver, it's a homework for you. I want you to go and check. Okay. And Sensex is nothing but the equity market index. BSE Sensex, Bombay Stock Exchanges, Sensex sensitive index. In 2021, it is 57,000 points. And in 1981, it was only 170 points. So the comparison here is that gold had grown 26 times from 81 to 21, 40 years. Silver had grown 25 times in the same 40 years. Whereas equity markets, stock markets had grown 335 times in 40 years. So that's the power of stock investing, provided somebody invests with a long haul. Invest for a long haul. They invest with a long time frame. What I say by long time frame is anything above 7 years and 10 years. Okay? Whereas majority of the investors come into the stock market with a 1 year, 2 year view, which is not good for them. Okay, it can be a positive experience. Invariably, it can become a negative experience in most cases. So stock investing has to be done with a very long-term perspective, and it can be very rewarding, extremely rewarding. And again, I've given the number here for 2021. So I would want you to go and check what is the BSE Sensex level now. okay, in today's times. Okay. So some people had asked me in my earlier sessions, how do I buy stocks? What is the way to invest in stocks? So I borrowed the ideas from Warren Buffett, who has been one of the greatest investors of all times, who still is one of the greatest investors. He's well into his 90s and he's still an investor in the stock markets. So he says there are two questions you have to answer in order to be good at stock investing. One is identifying an exceptional company with a durable competitive advantage. So it has to be a company which has an advantage over other companies. Second is, how do you value that company? You have to buy a good company at a lower price, at a reasonably low price, so that you get the best out of that investment. Okay. So these two things may sound simple, but not easy to follow. And this is where you require a lot of learning, self-learning, and also consulting with learned people and people who are qualified to invest in stocks. And Warren Buffett goes on to say that you have to understand accounting. Okay. So dear BBA students, I'm sure you have something to do with accounting as well. So accounting has a role to play in your investment success too. Okay. So how do you read the financial statements of companies, profit and loss account, balance sheet, things like that, right? And if you are able to do that, you can be good at stock investing as well. Okay, so income statement, position statement, and cash flow statement. These are the selection tools for equity stock investment also. Okay, and then comes the mindset. How do you make investments? Okay, you make investments with a long-term perspective. Only then you can be successful, right? So I'm quoting one of our test match players, Akshar Patel. Okay, he's also an IPL star. Okay, what he says about test matches is the dot balls. So when batsmen face cricket deliveries and dot balls, during balls which they can't score runs, okay? That creates a pressure in their mind because they are modern day batsmen. They're used to scoring runs very freely. So if they are not able to score runs, then they start making mistakes. They take unwanted risks and make mistakes. Compare this with what happens in the stock market. 90% of the market, stock markets, 90% of the investors in the stock markets are traders, speculators. So they come in, make some short-term investments, expect profits, and then they go. But if profits don't happen, they lose patience very fast and they exit. Okay? In the process, many people make losses in the market. So who makes profits in the stock markets? The ones who are investors. So I would call them as the 10% of the market. So they invest with a view that they will invest for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, or for as long as their goals are there. So it could be retirement, and they invest with that perspective, and they are the ones who will succeed. So that it's a test of their mindset. Equity investing is more about mindset than about quick money. Okay, and when markets fall down, how people react, that has an impact on the way they do things. Right here, I would like to stop and take any questions you have. Were you able to follow me till now? Yeah.
Yes, sir. My name is Varu Kotari, sir.
Hi, go ahead.
My question towards the topic is regarding equity markets.
Right.
When you see the wider perspective of the markets, the average return per annum is around 10 to 12%, which is Nifty and TF.
Okay.
EF. And on the other hand, that which gives us exorbitant returns.
Which one?
Multibaggers.
Multibaggers, okay.
And
right.
Identifying the best stock is the main game. So would you suggest the young generation to do technical analysis or fundamental analysis, or get into groups and trade in a whole community basis?
Okay. Fabulous question. So are you into investing already?
Yes, sir. We are investing already.
Fabulous. So for how long you have been investing?
I'm learning to invest from past 1 year. I've been investing regularly for past 6 months.
Fantastic. Excellent. Welcome to the world of investing. And
Thank you.
so currently you must be investing your parents' money, right?
Yes, sir. And we also manage portfolios.
Fantastic. Very nice. Okay. So coming to answer your question, I would prioritize fundamental analysis more than technical analysis. Okay. Maybe even if this discussion is becoming too technical for some people, just hang on because I'll come down because all that I discussed so far was quite simplistic. But here is a question which is probably exciting for a lot of us. Right. So fundamental analysis is where you understand a company and the sector it is operating in and the overall economy. Okay. So it could be top down where you analyze the economy first and then the sectors, and within that, which are the companies you want to buy. Okay. So you would use fundamental analysis all the time. And in order to make your purchases, to see when you need to buy, maybe you can use a little bit of charting, a little bit of technical analysis, right? But never ever let technical analysis overtake your fundamentals. Because unless a company is good enough and unless a company is profitable enough for long periods of time, nobody can become successful by owning that stock. So fundamental analysis will make you a truly wealthy investor, and multi-baggers are found through fundamental analysis, not through technical analysis. Okay, does that answer?
Yes, sir. I totally agree with each and every point, sir. But as a young trader and with the intention to churn my capital maximum, the way where I can earn maximum profit after my capital is technical analysis, according to me. As the time span which I am choosing is smaller than the time span which my prior generation is using.
Okay.
So if we come for fundamental analysis, what are the topics we should see? Usually we calculate EPS, P ratios, revenues, operating profits, shareholding parts, other aspects. Would you give 2 or 3 golden headings which we should compare or look at when we analyze fundamentally?
Okay. So I gave two golden rules, and which is valid every day, all the time. One is identifying a company with a competitive advantage over its peers.
Yes.
So it should be in a position to compete in a market. It should have something, a product or a service, which is of a very high quality and which has a pricing power.
Yes, sir.
Right? Second is valuing the company right. Paying the right. So if there is a wonderful company, let's say Apple, or let's say Google for Alphabet, or in Indian parlance, let's say Reliance Industries, or say State Bank of India. I'm just giving an example. Okay, I'm not recommending any of these stocks per se.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there is a wonderful company, but if it is trading at a very, very high price, wonderful price, okay, then it's not a wonderful investment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So finding that sweet spot is what an analyst actually has to do, what an investor actually has to do. Otherwise, bulk of trading, which people do, and by the way, trading is different from investing. Yes. I will never call trading as part of investing. Trading is more of speculation, price points, buying something with a very short-term view, maybe a week's view, a month's view, or even a day's view. Within a couple of hours, people buy and sell. Okay. So trading can be very tricky, very, very dangerous. And trading is dominated by tips, by news inflows and all that. Whereas fundamentals is trying to own a company and growing along with the company. For example, you have seen so many of companies which have been in India for more than 50, 60, 70 years. Okay. I belong to a company which is 70 years old in this country. So anyone who had bought a stock of my company, of the company which I belong to, say 20 years before, it's a multi-bagger for them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or somebody had bought it just 10 years before. Still, yes, they have made a multi-bagger.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So this way, you can identify companies and stay with them, hold on to them, and just grow your money.
Yes, sir.
And imagine this. So imagine this. that you have bought a stock of a company. You are just invested in a company, but the company is doing its everyday routine of everyday operations. It is going through business challenges. It is going through market vagaries. It is reporting to regulators. It has to comply with Companies Act. It has to pay income tax. It has to pay dividends to shareholders. It has to do all sorts of things to be in the business. It has to do selling. Okay, it has to do everything. But for an investor, they just have to own the stock.
Yes, sir.
That's why I said it's a very boring process. You just have to buy the stock and hold on to it.
Understandable, sir.
Okay, you don't have to do too many things. So one of the things about money or wealth creation is if you're trying to do too many things, chances of things going wrong is very high.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly how people lose money.
Yes, sir.
And also remember one thing when you're managing your portfolio, a portfolio is like a bar of soap. You understand soap?
Yes, yes.
Which we use for bathing, okay? Maybe not on the face, maybe on your body. Every time you touch the bar of soap, it will become smaller.
Yes, sir.
Same thing holds true for your portfolio. Every time you trade, you're paying brokerages, you're paying taxes.
Yes, sir.
Chances of the portfolio becoming smaller is high. Okay? So buying good quality companies through fundamental analysis and holding on to them is actually one of the most proven ways of becoming a very successful, wealthy investor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right? Pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Al Ahmed here.
Okay.
So my question is to all the young investors out there, what is the direction you would guide them to start their journey in the world of investment?
Okay. First fundamental is to have a PAN card, have your own bank account,
Okay, sir.
and then decide on what portion of your income, whatever it may be. It can be a pocket money which you have received from your parents, or if somebody is starting to earn, that money, or if you've got some gifts, you start investing that money, and make sure that you designate a percentage of that money. Like, let's say somebody has got gifts of, maybe you say they've saved up some money. Let's say 10,000 or 20,000 rupees. Just an example. Okay, it could be more than that. It could be less than that. Have a percentage of that. Decide on a percentage. Say 30% or 50%, which you will put aside for your investment. Okay. Start by investing in maybe get to understand by investing in mutual funds first. Okay, because the corpus being so small, you can invest in through a mutual fund, and a mutual fund in turn will invest in 40 or 50 different stocks. So equity-oriented mutual funds, okay, can be a great beginning. You can also invest in an index fund, right? An index fund is something which will invest in the index stocks. Could be a Nifty index or a Sensex. Okay, Sensex is 30 stocks, Nifty is 50 stocks. And then you get to understand the workings of the market. Once you put in your money, your involvement follows. Okay, you start getting involved in what's happening, right? And that's the best way to learn about investing itself. So these are the first steps.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
The next question, please.
Answer same as we're running. Can we just
Yes, ma'am.
just in time?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly. Yeah, can you just repeat that?
So we'll just stop here. So we'll just end the session here.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, just one moment, sir. Mayank.
Sure.
Thank you, sir, for providing us with valuable insights on investment. It was a very wonderful session, sir, where we learned about different investment options. The examples given were very easy for us to understand deep concepts, sir. The book references like The Compound Effect and The Richest Man in Babylon will surely help us in the further life, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time.
Pleasure, Mayank. Thank you. Thank you all. And special congratulations to all the people who have started investing and to all those who asked your questions in this forum. That's the way, you be inquisitive, be curious, and you're headed for success. Pleasure meeting you all. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Renu ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.